Do you think it's better to take an empathetic approach or just be firm and cold and assertive when someone gets obsessed with you? I do the latter. Personally, I think that actually is the empathetic approach. Personally, this is my hot take. But when you act empathetic toward them and you have like words with emotion in them, whatever, when someone gets obsessed with you and that's how you answer them, almost always they keep going, they keep pushing, they feel like they get led on. Almost always, even if you don't mean that, and even if the words you're saying, if written down, are you rejecting them? The way you say it, if you come off with emotion, they get deeper into it. So I think being firm and cold and assertive is the empathetic approach because you're doing what is best for that person. Even if it makes them feel like in that moment, it's like a big blow to them. You are telling them where the line is so that they don't do worse by themselves, so that they don't have a worse time. That is so much better for that person in the end. Yeah, so even if short term it kind of sucks, it is just so much better toward that person. And yeah, if you're a bit positive toward them, it doesn't work out. And I think a perfect example of this is when girls reject guys. Now, this is people in general, but you usually see it with women most commonly. When they're out at a club and there's some guy and they want to reject his advances, if they just say simple, hey, I'm not interested, or they're more firm than that, then the dude's like, oh, whatever, and usually leaves. But if you're like, oh, haha, not right now, haha, they hear not right now and they're like, oh, so later. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't work. They're going to see what they want to see in everything you say. So I see it as the same concept with like a streamer. Someone gets a little obsessed or something. You have to really clearly tell them no, because their brain is doing human brain things where when they like something or they're obsessed with something or whatever, like they're gonna want to hear that and they're gonna hear what they want to hear. So you have to make it like unmistakable for their sake. But yeah, my hot take on that is that is the more empathetic approach because you're doing what's right for that person, but it won't feel that way to them. Definitely not. it'll just be upsetting, but that is what it is. I'd rather someone think I'm a big meanie toward them, I'm a big meanie when I drew that line in the sand, than not know where the line is and keep trying to toe it, because that harms both people, right? It just harms both people. And it leaves that person in that kind of zone where they're just causing themselves like emotional damage constantly, or they're setting themselves up for an even worse fall later or disappointment or whatever it is. So it's just better, man. Yeah, what you said is really true. You said, I think women have been conditioned to not be direct because there's men that will get aggressive when rejected. Yeah, and I find a lot of my friends struggle with that as streamers because in real life, you know, in that moment, you do kind of temper yourself a little bit when you're rejecting people. A lot of people will do this because they're afraid that person, you just never know if they're going to flip out. You never know if they're going to try and do something crazy to you. Maybe that person is normally normal, but they have drinks in them and they just can't take no for an answer. They're just, you know, so a lot of people will like give like these nicer answers that aren't a direct no, but they'll try to like slowly like wiggle out of it. But on the internet, you don't have to do that. But because so many people are used to doing that, it comes out on the internet, right? They're like too nice to people when they're rejecting or drawing a line. And I'm like, hey, this person isn't standing right next to you. You have a ban button. You have a hard no button. You don't have to like temper yourself in that moment because you're not in active danger right now. You know what I mean? But I find a lot of people, they have a hard time with that. It's hard to like remind yourself of that, especially when you're so used to doing things a certain way for your own safety. But, you know, you gotta recognize you're in a good position as a Twitch streamer. You can just press a bunch of buttons. Your whole community too will back you up, right? If you're like trying to reject someone in chat and you're being a little nice to them and they're still not getting it and you say, look, no offense, you're making me uncomfortable, the rest of your chat will be like, what the fuck, man? You know what I mean? Like you have a whole bunch of people that will see what's going on and back you up. So, you know, it's a really good scenario. You're able to be more firm and not, you know, not worry about it. Community should ban more high key. 100%. 100%. I feel like everyone needs to do that more. Ban isn't like you broke really horrible rules and you have to go. Ban is, I just don't want you here. That's all. It doesn't have to be super deep. It's just like, I don't want you here. If you wait for someone to break a horrible rule to ban, then, you know. Exactly. The sock puppet is here to make the serious conversations lightened. It's my little tool so the kids don't cry.